Right, so when Genshin Impact first came out, there was a lot of discussion between two units in particular, Razor and Beidou, and the similarities, differences, and overall which one is better at what. And in this video, I thought it would be a fun thing just to compare differences between them two and see what they both were used for, because they both have their different uses and they're not as similar as you might think. So if you do enjoy this little comparison or discussion or look into these characters and you do want to support me, you can always feel free to subscribe, because only 4.6% of people watch my videos are subscribed. And if you're new to my channel or you're returning, we do daily Genshin Impact guides, news, discussions, and anything to do with the game. And generally, like, the growth of my channel has dipped a bit recently and I'm still trying to get it back up, so if you want to like help me out, you can always feel free to drop me a sub. But let's get into it. So something that what I like to try at least is I like to try and make them both physical damage dealers, because they're claymore users. They do a lot of physical damage, and I like to try and see how strong can you make them as a physical user. Now, this is mainly just because I want to discuss their main attack patterns. So, for example, Razor's got a 4-hit combo like this, and this combo takes about 2.24 seconds to finish, whereas Beidou has a 5-hit combo which takes just over 3 seconds to finish. Now, the difference between these two is that Razor will have higher damage numbers per hit than Beidou. However, overall total, if you add up all the percentages of each of the hits, Beidou would come out to do more damage, but that's also because her attack pattern is longer and it's got an extra hit in, which brings it to different playstyles here. Because, for example, for example, the way that I play Beidou is I might get in 2 hits, right? Maybe the first 3 hits, and I'm about to get attacked. Now I can either like use my E's, make a shield, or I dodge it. Now if I dodge it, it resets my attack pattern to go back to the first 3 hits again. Might get attacked again, I might dodge. Now this might make Razor a better physical damage dealer, because you can go through your first 2 attack patterns, which will do bigger numbers most likely than Beidou, because you're gonna be, if you're dodging a lot or if you don't have a big shield character, then you know you're going to be like dodge rolling everywhere, and therefore you're going to be losing out on a bit of damage. But it's okay, because we're going to look into how you play different characters. Now, Razor can be an Electro Application character, because obviously we got his claw that does a bit of electro damage, and his main ability, well, his other, you can hold it down, which will give you a bigger cooldown, but it does a lot more damage. Now, this also gives Razor some energy recharge, I believe, which will increase his burst, and his burst is quite strong. Now, Beidou, on the other hand, Beidou can be applied more as maybe an electro support user because of the way that her kit works. So when you hot press or hold down E, you get a shield, and you can take up to if you take up to 2 hits, you can counter it back and do a big number. Big damage, and it's really fun to use. And in general, this means Beidou can be used as a support, maybe a bit more than Razor, because generally speaking, Razor is more of a physical DPS user, and, well, he's not very... I'm not going to say he's selfish, because he's not entirely selfish in comparison to other users in the game, but he can be a bit selfish sometimes with his kit, especially with his burst, because we're going to discuss bursts now, because that is also important. So, Razor's burst will basically give him, well, it's not a JoJo stand, but it does just give him the stands that will attack and deal a certain percentage of his normal attack output. And obviously, if Razor leaves the field, that stand will leave the field, and you need to have Razor out to use it. So, for example, if Razor gets low and you don't want to die, you've got to switch to your healer or your support, then he'll lose that burst, and, well, you're not going to use it anymore. Whereas Beidou, on the other hand, if she uses her burst, it basically infuses your attacks with electricity, which means you can pass it on to other users on the team. It's got great potential for either Beidou herself to use, or you can use any other main DPS character in the game to make elemental reactions with this new infusion and increase your damage potential overall through reaction damage. Now, obviously this leads down 2 paths. Obviously, Beidou can be used as a physical damage dealer. Like, I made her a bit like a physical damage dealer because I thought it would be a bit of a fun thing to do, but another thing to notice as well is that she gains electro damage bonus on Ascension and not physical damage, whereas Razor, on the other hand, well, obviously I've not leveled him up enough to actually unlock this, but he does increase his physical damage bonus on Ascension, which means putting a physical damage goblet or a physical damage weapon on him will increase his damage potential through the roof, because physical damage is quite good to have. However, you can also use Beidou as a main DPS. Some people say that you need to have Constellation 4 to like basically use her as a main damage dealer, but you don't have to have it. It's a nice constellation to have, but generally speaking, she can be okay at it. Now, obviously, weapons and artifacts wise, both of them are quite easy to build, so there's generally 2 free-to-play weapons you can use with them. You can either use Prototype Archaic or Snow Tomb Star Silver, depending on if you really want to do a physical or electro build with Beidou. And if you're earlier on in the game, you can use the Debate Club. And another thing you can use with Beidou support is you could use Favonius Greatsword or Stack Greatsword as well if you want to increase your ability usage. Now, not just being artifact wise as well, is you can build them however you really want to. You can use electro artifacts, physical artifacts, depending on what build you want to do. But at the end of the day, they're both great characters, and I'm going to leave my opinion here. Who's better at physical damage dealing? I think it'll be Razor, just because based on the playstyle that I set out alone here, I like to dodge a lot, so having the ability to dodge means that I won't miss out on a lot of damage. However, when it comes to abilities and bursts, Razor becomes a better damage dealer. However, I like to use my Beidou as either a main DPS or a support DPS hybrid, so I prefer using her. But let me know down below, what character out of Beidou and Razor do you think is better, and let me know why you think that, because I'd like to know, because it's an interesting topic that I don't know if it's been covered that much. But yeah, thank you guys for watching it. Obviously comment down below your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in another video soon, so please take care.